the ECR welcomes the fact that the Commission wants to narrow the investment gap in Europe. But I often speak to investors that have money to invest but are scared off by red tape and see other parts of the world as far more attractive. So I think we need to recognise that this fund will not be a silver bullet. In fact, probably the most important part of the proposal is not the fund itself, but the so-called third pillar. What we need to do is cut red tape and bring down those barriers to investment. Let me give you one example. I currently lend to entrepreneurs around the world via a successful American peer-to-peer lending platform. This platform tells me they want to come to Europe, but they're worried that EU legislation would not allow their business to succeed. So the true test of success here is not how many roads are built or how many pipelines are laid. It is how many entrepreneurs will get financing and create sustainable jobs. And once they start their businesses, we need to make sure that EU legislation doesn't shut them down. Since the beginning of the year, digital businesses now have to pay VAT in the country of the customer rather than the country of sale. Now, we know that this law was aimed at the big businesses such as Amazon, who sell via low-tax countries. But this one-size-fits-all legislation is also shutting down micro-enterprises selling digital products such as e-books, online designs or online knitting patterns, for example. They can't afford to check on customers in 28 member states. There is no VAT threshold. And if they refuse to sell to customers in other EU countries, they are now being told that they may be breaking EU anti-discrimination laws. So they're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. So what do? They close down. So by all means, let us speak in this House about helping SMEs. By all means, let us talk about a digital single market. By all means, let us talk about these investment programmes. But if we are all serious, let's rip away the red tape that is harming businesses today, here and now. Until we do that, no amount of investment will close the gap. The songwriter Bob Dylan once asked, "How many roads must a man walk down?" But let me ask, how many investors have to leave the EU before we remove the barriers? How many micro-businesses have to close down before we solve the VATMOSS problem? How many people have to be unemployed before we open the markets? I fear, as Bob Dylan would say today, the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.